video on my first teaching experience, my first year of teaching. I'm straight out of college. I graduated 2017 from George Mason, and I went straight into teaching. A little bit of context, I teach second grade at a charter school in Southeast DC. And so, yeah, it's possible. You can graduate college and go straight into teaching without, like, you know, just being like a substitute, or without being, you don't have to be like an assistant teacher. You can be a full-time teacher. I'm gonna give you 3 lessons I learned throughout the school year, because I'm gonna tell y'all, teaching ain't no joke. And then I'm gonna give you some advice. So the 3 lessons I learned. Number 1, don't come in here like you know us. Yeah, when I say don't come in here like you know us, y'all know that movie Daddy's Little Girls, when Gabrielle Union was in there and the girl was like, don't come in here like you know us, right? Like, you can't just step in there and be like, hey, like, get a chance to really build a rapport with your students, because when you come in there like you know them, and like I'm black, and all of my students in my classroom were black, but you can't come into the classroom as if like you know them, and you have to be real, because students really love real and authentic people. I was able to build a relationship with families as well, which made the process of teaching a lot more easier, because once you have a relationship with the parents and you have a relationship with your students, they respect you more, and you're able to really get a lot more done in the classroom. Okay, number 2, teaching is more than a one-man job. So my school has a co-teaching model, which means that 2 teachers are in the classroom, and like one teacher focuses on like 2 subjects like reading and like science or something like that, and another teacher will focus on like math and like social studies, something along those lines. Reading and math are really high up in those grade levels, because you want the students to be able to really read, and you want them to have those math skills, especially when they're about to go into 3rd grade, because that's when they start testing and taking part and all that. So I focused on math, and my co-teacher focused on reading. So when I first heard that my school was like, because I was all excited about having my own classroom. I was like, I want my own classroom, get to do what I want to do. So basically when I found out I was having a co-teacher, I was like, what? I don't know how I feel about that. But oh my goodness, I'm so glad I had a co-teacher, because I'm trying to tell y'all, if I went into my first year teaching without my co-teacher, or just trying to do everything by myself, I can just see how overwhelming that would be. And like, there's students in my classroom who have a lot of trauma, and there was just a lot of other things that came into play with being in the classroom as a teacher. And so having 2 teachers in the room is so helpful, and it's like it created a warm community. Hours are so long. Like, I teach from 7 to 5. Like, students come in at 7:45, they leave at 4, but it's just like teachers don't leave until 5 or maybe later. And so I'm so glad I had a co-teacher. I didn't feel as overwhelmed, because I was able to like focus on a subject, and when one teacher's having a problem, I could step in, or she could step in when there's a problem with a student who needs some assistance. And so that's helpful. My little brother better not make no noise, because I'm gonna pop off. Number 3, teaching is difficult, but it's all worth it in the end. So the beginning half of the year is like the toughest. What was the toughest for me? Like, I had a breakdown. Like, I was like, yo, this is a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just a lot, dealing with administration, dealing with students, dealing with like just adjusting. This is my first full-time job. And so in the beginning of the year, I had a student, y'all. I was teaching, and I'm telling you, he pulled the plug out of the projector while I'm teaching. This is stuff where you be like, you gotta call on the Lord. I ain't trying to be funny. Y'all, I'm telling you, because you be like, what is going on? Or like students that wanna bang real loud. Because there's times when my co-teacher will go on a break, and I'll be in the classroom by myself, like teaching. And, you know, I was like, is this gonna work out in the end? Because right now, I don't know about this teaching thing. But towards the end of the year, y'all, I'm trying to tell. Once they had a relationship with me, it's like they were excited to know what like we were gonna learn, and I was able to like be truly myself and be authentic and real, like show my humor and just be myself. And that's how like my students learn the most. Just student experiences, like when you go on a field trip with them, like I took them to my school at George Mason, and they got to meet like the Divine Nine, like fraternities and sororities, and they were so excited, and like had a great experience from that, and it just shows like you're really shedding light into these young people's life. And when they tell you, you know, I love you and they appreciate you, like at the end of the year I was like sad. I was like, I'm gonna miss them. So in the beginning of the year I was ready to pop off, but at the end of the year I was like, you know what, I appreciate them. Bruh, why are you not staying in your room while I'm recording this video? Wait until I'm finished with the video, okay? It's only like 5 more minutes. Find a mentor. That can be another teacher. That could be, you know, who you're affiliated with. I would associate myself around other teachers who are starting their first year. But teachers in my schoolhouse, my instructional coach at my school, like really find a mentor, because that's what really helped me. And utilize them and stay connected. Like if they're giving you advice and tools to use, utilize them. Like if your school has a free program where they're allowing teachers to like gain support for like a subject, go. So like this was a book that someone gave me about modeling like mathematical ideas in the classroom, and she just came to my school and they had like free sessions and things like that. So take advantage of those. Hold on, cause this boy in this TV. Jaquel. Network and socialize at different events with staff. This is what I struggle with. This is like advice I'm giving myself to do better with next year. Network. I'm out of breath because I walked upstairs. Network, y'all, and really take advantage of when people invite you to things. Associate yourself with people, because we build each other up. Like other black teachers, other official, like people if you follow them on social media, like they have so many different events where we can come together, leaders in the community. So that's what I said. That's what I want to do better with next year. But it's definitely a great thing, like happy hours, events. Go out to them and really socialize and network with people, because those are going to be your backbone supports, systems and all that when you're like going through a hard time, or when you're trying to figure out how to make things work in your classroom, or just how to make things work in your school community. Read, y'all. But the thing is with teaching, you get so busy, and I found it hard to read like books. It was challenging for me because in my first year of teaching I was just trying to get the flow of things. But articles, different things, here's some books. So I read an article and it had some like tips it used from the book of this book right here, How to Be an Effective Teacher, the First Days of School. Dream City, like this is about race power in the revival of Washington DC, but it's, I mean, I haven't really read all the way into it, but it gives you a context of where you're working. I'm from the DC area. I've lived in Charlotte, North Carolina as well, and I've also, you know, now I live in Maryland. But I had a little bit of context of where I was. But if you're in a new area, say you are from California or something, you're going to a school in New York or going to a school in DC, you want to get to know about what the city is undergoing. And like my dad is from Southeast, my aunt's from Southeast, like my family is from Southeast, and like my mother's from Northeast. So I had a little bit of context, not to say I know everything, I don't. But if you're very new to an area, you want to definitely get to understand where you're working. Stand your ground and don't be afraid to laugh with your students. Okay, so when I say stand your ground, okay, you want to have fun, but you want to make sure your students respect you as their teacher, and you have to stand your ground. You got to get that teacher stare down. Like when I tell y'all, I was trying to be all nice, like, hey, okay, here's what we're going to do. No. And another thing is, don't talk over your students. Like if they're talking, regardless of what grade you're teaching. I teach second grade, but them students are talkative. I tell my students, I'm like, I don't talk. I was like, in my house, I learned that we don't talk over people when they're talking. Like, that's not, I don't do that. So I'm gonna let y'all finish. No. Once you really get that face, and it gets to a place where you don't have to say anything. Like, if they're talking, you can just stare. You just do this stare, like, you just stare at them like they crazy. Like, why are you still talking? And then you just wait. Be like, I'll wait. You wait. Or you just sit there. You get a chair. One time I got so frustrated, I just got a chair and I sat there like, and I guarantee you they were all looking at me like, why is she not talking no more? What happened? Because I don't talk over people when they talking. So y'all done? Like, give them let them see you're not playing. Like, cause in the beginning of the year I was just all trying to be nice to them. I had the handshakes, y'all, all that. Oh, I love, that's a great thing. The guy who did the handshakes, the personalized handshake with your students, that is like, I think that's like one of the best things I did this year too, because it really gave me like an individual connection with each of my students. So I would definitely recommend doing that. But yeah, stand your ground, but don't be afraid to laugh, because when you're too serious and uptight and you're not yourself, like, it stresses you out and it stresses them out. Like, don't act like you're somebody else, just be yourself. And I learned that laughter brightens the classroom up. Like, when I would have fun and laugh with them, I'm like, yo, this is making my day so much better. And they learn that way too. They learn by you telling a funny story or incorporating some type of, you know, acting into your lesson. Like, I'm very like, I have a lot of different expressions, so my face would be like telling a lot of different little, you know, use some expression. Don't be monotone standing there. Okay, so let's, no, because I never liked teachers like that who were just monotone, don't have no story to tell. Give me a story, give me something I can relate to. Keep a portfolio of materials and memories. So I got this binder, y'all, and it's real messy because stuff is just sticking out. But I mean, one thing I like about this is that I have something tangible for my first year experience, and like for ELA, for math, and then I have student notes, and that's like beautiful. Like, I pulled out like a couple of my favorites. I couldn't find like ultimate favorite when my student wrote a note about me, apologizing for the disrespectfulness in the class. But this one is from my student, and he said, "Dear Miss Parker, Miss Thompson, thank you for teaching reading, math, and science. You are the best teachers a kid could have." And that's so beautiful, and it's like Happy Appreciation Day. That's adorable. And then I have a parent note where she wrote like, we did a family visit. Home visits are amazing. Like, if your school does that, then that's awesome. Like, we did it with Flamboyant Foundation. And she was like, Miss Parker, Miss Thompson's home visit one Saturday was amazing. All weekend long, he was not able to sleep, to stop talking about, you know, playing the Xbox with you guys while you were here. Continue to keep up the great work. This one's like, a student wrote this, and it says, "To the people who changed my life, who made my dream come true." And that's just like, it's just beautiful stuff that makes you be like, wow, like, I see why teaching, it has such a big impact. Stay organized, y'all. Me, organization is a little difficult for me because I have like a scattered mind. I'm like here, then I'm here. Like, I feel like I might have slight like ADHD, I don't know. But I got this, like, when I tell you I was at Target really searching for a good agenda, I keep written agendas because I feel like when you write stuff down, you're able to remember it more. So I have like the daily ones. So I'll give you an example. Like, ones that have the time. You want to get the ones with the time on it, because that way you're able to say, oh, I have a meeting. Like, maybe you have an IEP meeting with, like, you know, special ed program. You can just say, oh, okay, 12 o'clock, that's my meeting. Then you gotta, you know, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock. As you transition through the year, you start to figure out what works best for you. And so the agenda was great for like time, like if I had a meeting, but this was great for remembering things, like remember to, and you just write, you know, remember I gotta grade these papers. You know, you can also use something like this if you want to, like a book like this, like one of these little mini books, and you can carry this around. Something that's like handy dandy. Another way to be organized, get a fanny pack. Yeah, keep highlighters, the little teacher pens, y'all. Them teacher pens, you know what I'm talking about, the little Sharpie, the little fine tip ones. Them ones are nice. Get that. Keep a fanny pack. You can keep your phone in there, like in a pocket, and keep your like keys to your classroom if you want to lock it and stuff like that. That way you won't be losing things, and then students, oh Lord, y'all, that way they won't pick up your phone and drop it. Because let me tell y'all, we had some situations where student picked up a phone and cracked my co-teacher's phone, and then she was like, oh nah, we're not having that. So, because students will grab stuff thinking they're trying to help, and then it's not helpful. So you want to have your stuff like somewhere near you so that, you know, it's protected. Those are my pieces of advice. My last thing is just that you do stuff that's exciting for your students. Like, I did Class Dojo, and like I have these certificates. You can give out like certificates like these. Target has the, you know, $3 cheap section, the value section. You can get a lot of stuff from there, like different prizes. Keep a treasure box. That's exciting, like at the end of the week. If your school has a system, that's great, but sometimes the the school isn't consistent. That's what I found in my school. Like they were like, oh, we're gonna do the dream store thing, and then it wasn't happening. So we had to create our own dream store. Like do something in your classroom that's going to keep your students motivated, because when the students are motivated, they are going to listen to you more. They're gonna be more invested in what they're learning. And so yeah, that's all I have for you. I hope that you enjoyed hearing about my experience. If you are about to be a teacher, I hope that this is helpful for you as you go into your first year. If you're in Teach for America, you know, I'm a part of that program. I hope that this is helpful for you. And I also hope that if you are teaching now, that you're able to get something out of this if you're a current teacher. And so yeah, we need more Black teachers out here teaching the younger generation what we didn't get to know. So I hope that you would be interested in teaching if you're like looking into that career. Maybe you're in college. Like really think about it, because we need more educators.